Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello. Something just happened. I don't know why that just happened. Let's see. What? I don't know what that's saying. Give me a second. Let me just put my glasses on. This is what I get for not wearing my glasses, by the way. Let me see. Too few tracks are selected for recording at this sample rate. Okay. If you say so. Okay. Righto. Shall I start again? Like, seriously, I'm having a shocker. One day I will get this right, I swear. One day the dream will be that I'll actually record correctly and it'll all be wonderful and the end and whatever. Fuck me. Look, hi. Welcome to the Tequila Hour. My name is Amanda, apparently, and I don't know what I'm doing, but one day I will get this live sitcho sorted. So I actually know what I'm doing, because at the moment, apparently, I can't do it. So let's see. What else is going on here? I don't know. Lots of other stuff. That's not working. Okay, that is working. Thank you. Yes. Okay. And everyone's like, yes, and yeah, and yeah, I was just pressing buttons because I decided that was going to make me happy. Anyway. Just checking out my makeup of the day. Wearing on my eyes. You're probably wondering, what the hell are you doing, Amanda? I am wearing Pat McGrath. Hello. I don't know what palette it was. And it's over there, and I'm not going to go and get it. So there's that. And I'm also wearing YSL lipstick, and I don't know the number. And yeah, I suck as a YouTuber. Anyway, this is not about YouTube. This is about a podcast, and this is what I want to talk about today. So the title of the podcast was in reference to alternate universes. Now, I'm not going to go all Marvel and shit on you and, ponder the movie genre that is Marvel and DC Comics. No. Nor am I going to start talking about different planes of existence, even though that could be. I'm going to have a sip of my drink, by the way. That could be an interesting subject for another day. What I wanted to talk about is there is those moments, well, you could have them every day, but there's moments in life where, for whatever reason, you're going along your merry way, and then something happens and you make a decision. Now, I'm not just talking about as an example, I decided I was going to have Subway for lunch, and I did. Yes, that's an example of making a decision. No, that's not an example of what I'm trying to talk about today. I'm talking about, I suppose I'm talking about more, if that word heavy comes to mind, but I'm talking about definitive decisions. May they be life decisions, may they be, those more serious decisions where, I don't know, as an example, where you decide that you are going to get a new job, or you decide that you are moving across from one state to another, or you know um, you're going to leave your husband, or you're going to get married, or you're going to I don't know, those kind of big life things is what I'm trying to get at. Anywho, I suppose this subject comes to mind today because, like I mentioned in the description, it is that thought that I often get in my head when I'm talking, and we can talk about The Sound of Music, the movie, another day because I really like that movie and haven't seen it for a long time. But, and it might be crap if I watched it now. Let's be honest, it might be horrible if I watched it now. Because A, it's a musical, and B, it's, getting long in the tooth, but, it's a classic, so I'm not going to poo-poo it. Anyway, I'm getting distracted by The Sound of Music. Anyway, there's a particular line in the movie where Maria, if you have never watched The Sound of Music, then just stop listening now because that's embarrassing. But where she talks about, there's a crossroads in her life, and, she has to make a decision, and basically saying, look, where one door closes, a window opens. Basically alluding to the fact that when everything's going to shit, or you feel like everything's going to shit and the world's going to end, or you really don't know what to do with yourself, and you don't know where you're going, and you don't know what's happening, that there is a higher power. May that be God, may that be angels, may that be who you identify as the spirit, or it may be you don't identify with any of that, what I've just mentioned. But there's that premise that, for everything that happens, there will always be the bright side, which is, an opportunity, even though you mightn't think of it at the time as an opportunity, that that window opens. So your door closes, but, the window opens, and there is a ray of light that comes in, and perhaps at the time you don't even see the ray of light or know that what it is, or even acknowledge that a window opens, but more often than not, it's there, and you're given a chance to do something else. And the reason why I suppose I want to talk about this is that it's really a feeling that I've had for quite some time, and I might have touched on this. Probably I have, because I like to ramble on about a lot of things, but it's something that I really have been thinking about in reference to change. Now, for me, in my life, I'm talking about my work. Now, not that I dislike my work in any way. I actually really enjoy my work. It also is a great source of frustration for me. And, there's many reasons for that. Now, I think where the source of frustration is coming from is that for quite some time, there's a lot of things that have happened at my particular work that have included me and have not included me. But in reference to where I want to be in my life and where I'm heading, for a long time, I realized that I need to change. Now, what I'm saying is that, if I want to reach some of the particular financial goals, as an example, which is the first thing that comes to mind, financial goals that I have in my life that, let's get straight, I'm already straight into it, so I don't know what I'm saying. The one example that comes to mind straight away is that I have the goal that I want to go to Japan next year. And it's somewhere that I've wanted to visit for a very long time, somewhere that I've often thought about. And, if I said to myself, where would I travel to? It would be Japan, would be up there. And it's really something that in the last couple of months where I've really gone, well, if you don't plan or you don't think about or you don't want or you don't try to think about actually making changes to particular things in your life, then how do you expect to go to Japan? That's very reasonable. Now, obviously, one of them being finances. Now, you can say, and this is again, yes, saving is one of them, and which I have a savings plan now in place where I put money away every fortnight when I get paid. That is something that I don't struggle to do it, but I struggle to hold on to it because I get distracted by all the wonderful things that I could buy, which we all do, let's be honest. And for me, obviously, when I, get paid every fortnight, bills are the most important thing, which I always pay my bills first, etc. And then is saving. So really, again, something in the last couple of months where I've actually created a savings plan and are regularly saving. So that's the first thing because, you're not going to magically go to Japan on air, hopes and dreams, unfortunately. The other thing, though, is that not only do I want to go to Japan, but there's other things that I want to achieve in my life. And they are things that require money. Now, the only way that you get money is by earning money. And the only way that you then earn more money is being on a higher wage. So I suppose for me, it's something where this is twofold because for a long period of time, it's not just about the financial thing in the sense of being on a higher wage, but it's also really thinking about what are you worth. Now, when I talk about that, obviously everyone out there has your particular employment as an example. You might have a set salary, you might have as an example, you know, on a grade. So my employment is based because I work for the government. It's based on grades. Well, other things were based on grades too, but I digress. I'm on a graded system, okay? Um, Depending on the position, the grade is higher. Now, with that, like I mentioned, the only way that I'm going to earn more money is that I go onto a higher weight, on a higher grade. And the particular role that I am currently employed in, I am on the highest form of that role, as in grading, which means that I need to change my job, my employment. It means that if I want to earn more money, I need to change my position in my employment. Now, that's one part of it. The other part of it is that for a very long time, I have struggled with, thinking about what am I worth in my employment. So, you know, most people at some stage, if they work hard and they're a good employee and they're committed to their work and they go above and beyond, then they at some point will ask for a wage salary increase or based on their performance, etc. If you are not in a position where you are in a performance-based role, a good example is a previous employment where I was in a sales environment, and obviously, if you want to talk about bonuses and additional income, was based on your performance. Now, I'm not in that type of position. What I am in the position, though, is like I said, I'm in a graded position, and the only way I'm going to earn money is as I change. And It is, to be honest, a conundrum. It is something that for, let me think, what do we are? Well, I'm looking at the wondering wondering what I'm doing. I'm actually looking at my calendar on my laptop because I can see it's the 30th of April, and I'm just trying to think how long I've been having this thought in my mind about changing. Probably, if I'm honest, at least nearly a year. Okay. So this is it's a feeling that has come and gone. But if I'm to be blunt, I was going to say serious. I'll be say blunt. If I'm going to be blunt with you and honest with you, it is something that has been, yes, very much at the forefront of my mind for probably nearly a year. That through opportunities that I've been given and through my development in my particular role and what I do and what I have been doing, that I now see that that I need to change because I don't feel that my worth matches my income. And B, that I was going to say unfortunately, but and it is unfortunate that I'm going to have to change. And you know, I we all, if you had these thoughts and feelings about whatever position you're in your employment, you know, you when you finally come to that process where you realize that you should probably get paid more or you deserve to get paid more, that when you don't, well, first of all, it's the acknowledging part because, we go along our merry way in our life, and you pay your bills and you get your stuff and you move on and get paid every week or every fortnight, and that's it. But then there will become a point in your life, I can imagine for most people, um, that you go, well, am I being paid enough for what I do? And then that then leads to the predicament of then deciding, well, do I stay and just, suck it up? Do you know what I mean? Or hope for the opportunities that may or may not arise, especially when you are in an environment where you know that there will be opportunities, but where is that time for you, as in the cutoff of those opportunities? So, like I said, this has been now, if I really am retrospect when I'm talking about time and change, it's probably been a year and a year too long, clearly, because I'm still thinking about this and I haven't changed. Now, I have changed in the sense that in my particular role, I'm doing something outside of my role, something that you could say, I feel like I'm in lead of, something that I have direction of, um, something that I have proactiveness in, something that I can control and move forward with, something that I'm very proud of. On the flip side of that, I am very emotionally proud of what I'm doing, but I'm not financially remunerated for that. And the thing is, there is that point of time where you say to yourself, I need to change. Coming back to the premise of this podcast, where I said there's that feeling where, and this is, for me, that saying was more about, something dramatic happened with Maria. I can't even remember what the scene related to. I think it might have related to where she realized she had that's right. She realized that she had to either decide to remain as a nun, okay, and go to the abbey and stay there and finish off her, I was going to say nunnery work. Nunnery. I don't think that's a word, but or she had to follow her heart, and her heart was with the Von Trapp family and marrying what's his name, Christopher Plummer, and living happily ever after and doing that. And she had to make a choice, which was quite a dramatic choice when you had her calling, which was being a nun, and her heart calling, which was being with Christopher Plummer and the Von Trapp family. You could say that the predicament I am in is not as dramatic as that. um, but there is certainly times as time progresses and time moves forward where it has become that, because where is then the time when you cast your vote, cross the line, make a decision, call it for what it is? And I have been not tiptoeing around this, but it's only probably within the last, I don't know, maybe 2 months, where I've even just been, you wanna say brave or bold enough to say, "Look, I want more money. I wanna be paid more." Um, if the opportunity is not here, I will move on to another role. And as I'm saying it in my mind, the thought I get in my mind is talk is cheap. Do you know what I mean? I am a person of I've always been a person of, like, actions speak louder than words. You can say whatever you like or whatever you want, but unless you don't actually, move on your actions or follow through on your actions, then your words are empty and meaningless, in my opinion, depending on what it is. Um, so, like I said, there's been a lot of things that I've had to then, probably in the last 6 months, where I really had to step back and look at me and myself and what I want out of my employment and out of my life in general. Because, like I said, obviously your paid employment is intertwined with what you want to go in your life and your life direction. If you want to be a bum and live on the beach and, I don't know, eat air, I know, eat cheese sandwiches, and that's your dream, then that's fantastic. But my dream isn't that. My dream is I want to go to Japan, and, I want to buy a Porsche, and I want to continue on this podcast, and I want to grow this podcast, and I want to be a monetized podcast, and obviously not just for YouTube, but my podcast in general, as in Spotify. And these things don't just happen because they magically happen. They happen because you have to put the work in, and you have to create these things. And it's now where I feel like I'm stuck and the door is closing or my foot, or let's say the door is closing and my foot is in the door jamb, and I'm trying to close it and keep it open at the same time. And I can feel a slight breeze from the window that's opening, but I just can't let either of them go, if you understand the whole premise of what I just said. So this doesn't help me at all, because I'm now in the point of this whole mind fuckery that it's now, the door is hitting my foot and it's starting to hurt. And I'm now like, I have to make a decision. You know what I mean? I think you do. I have to make a clear decision. Now, the problem with this is that I am someone who, when I say I commit to something, and my heart commits to it, not just my head, but my heart commits to it, that I'm committed. Now, I'm committed to something at my work and my heart is in it. Full 100%. I'm committed to it. The problem is that commitment isn't going to get me anywhere. Sounds terrible. It's not. It's not going to, I feel like, and I could be wrong, and I don't think I am, unfortunately, but my commitment to this really doesn't matter. It will come to an end, and I will still be in the place that I am today, which is the 30th of April, and nothing has changed. What's changed is my level of experience and my knowledge and oh, what was that? There's a weird noise. It's a ghost. No, it's not a ghost. This guy's like, change. No. um, yeah, I'm afraid that if I don't move and close the door, which I don't want to do, that the window won't open and I'll still be in the doorway, in the door jamb in 6 months' time, and it'll be too late. And the reason why I've brought this up today is the other thing with this is we've all had periods like this, examples in our life where we have to make a decision, and they're not easy decisions. Because let's be honest, I have a really good job. I have a great job, actually. I have a really good job that I enjoy. Yes, there is moments, like we all have moments, but I really enjoy my work. I wouldn't be as committed to my work if I didn't enjoy my work. I have found my place. But the place isn't going to fulfill what I want out of my life. Now, you can say then you have to compromise. But how long do you compromise to not have what you really want out of your life? Because let's be honest, there's work, which is awesome, but then there is life. And like I said, for a very long time, I really didn't even want to comprehend going to Japan, for example, because I thought I just could never get there. And then I'm like, well, why can't I get there? Or why don't I even feel like I should go there or deserve to go there? And I really have, in the last, like I said, 6 months, really been working on my own. It's not even mental stability. It's more about working on myself in the sense of what do I want now? I am here today. It is 3:41 p.m. in Australia, New South Wales, in a secret location. I've told you now it's in New South Wales. So, anyway, in a secret location, it's about to click over to May, which I believe. Am I wrong? No. Has time stopped? No. It has not, unfortunately. It will be the 1st of May. This year is flying Before you know it, it'll be August. Before you know it, it'll be December. And I don't want to be in the same place that I am now or was. The problem being, once you've opened the door of working out that you know you need to change or you have to make a decision, you know what you need to do, and then you're in this weird limbo bullshit where you're waiting for the opportunity that you need to make the decision. Now, do you wait or you just make a decision? Okay. This is the problem. And it's like when I was talking about when you go left or you go right. Okay. I don't know if you've ever had those weird dreams where, or they talk about, like in a movie, as an example, where someone's walking down a road. Okay. Just picture it. Close your eyes if you need to visualize. You're walking down a road. It's barren, okay? There's no trees around. It's very open. You're not in the desert. The road is tarred. It's quiet. There might be an eagle flying off in the distance. I'm talking Hollywood now. You get to a crossroad, okay? It's a fork in the road. You can go left or you can go right. Unfortunately, you don't really know what is down left or right. But then let's go back to that saying that Maria said in The Sound of Music, where she said that God, the door might close, but God will always open a window. Do you believe in the premise that when the shit hits the fan, okay, or you're at the crossroad in the road, the barren road, or you have to make a decision like I do right now, do you think there's something karmically in place that will help you make the decision or show you the way? Or do you think that's not the case and you just have to make the decision and what be will be is the other thing? I don't know. And that's fact. And I don't know everything, you know what I mean? I've never pretended to either. And that's why I wanted to talk about this today, because let's be honest, change is inevitable. Yeah, big words. I got that word out. If you want to change, like big change in your life, it's not easy. Now, I'm thinking about, because I'm thinking about change, all right, in the fork of the road and making decisions. I think 2 podcasts ago, it might have been, I talked about epiphany or having an epiphany, okay? And I said to you that I've only had, because that's right, I was talking about my past. And I said that I'd only had one epiphany in my life. And, I was kind of, discussing the fact that I thought I'd had an epiphany. I still don't know if that other thing I had was an epiphany or not. I'm not 100% sure, because it wasn't really an epiphany, but it was more of an acknowledgement, I think, thinking back. But what I'm saying to you is I had one epiphany in my entire life so far, I believe. Now, this was when how old was I? I don't know. I don't even know how old I was. Maybe 30 something, early 30s, okay? Doesn't matter the exact age, early 30s. I was hospitalized in a mental institution, a private institution, and no, I wasn't high on drugs. Well, I had this epiphany actually. I was actually in a counseling group. I can't even remember, to be honest, what we were talking about, but it must have been something related to our family or our or love or something or relationships or something to that effect because at that time, I was married to my first husband. And I think I may have mentioned to this that I realize in retrospect that I was miserable in my marriage for a very long time. Probably like I was married when I was in hospital, it was my 10 years. I was married 10 years, yes. So, and we'd been together, I don't know how many years but prior to that, but I had been married for 10 years. And like I said, I don't even know what the counseling session was about, but what I do know is that for the very first time, I actually it was like a I don't know, it's like I was gonna say that the birds started singing, the angels came down. No, it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that at all. And I'm trying to recount or relive what the feeling was to now try and relate it to the feeling I'm trying to have now in my life, okay? It was a thought that came into my mind. It was like kind of popped in my head that I wasn't in love with my husband. Okay. So this is my first husband, not my husband now. Don't get it fucking twisted. I was not in love with my husband. And I don't know if I said it out loud or it was out in my mind or I'm trying to recall actually if I actually said it out loud in the group because I mean this particular time in my life was very traumatic. So some parts of it are quite hazy. But I remember I kind of remember the room. I don't remember the discussion, but I remember it was just like a light. It was like that when you talk about a light bulb moment where did I say it out loud? Maybe that's why it feels like it's more cemented in my mind that I wasn't in love with my husband. And I must have said it out loud. I must have. Because it's a thought that I had for such a long time and I'd never actually said it verbally, and I said it. That's what it was. Yep, I did. I actually verbally said it out loud in a group of people, like a small group, not like, 50. um, yes, I verbally said it out loud, and that's what it was. I acknowledged it because I actually said it. Not just, fancifully said it and thought about it a million times in my mind. I realized I was not happy because I was not in love with my husband. And that's the epiphany that I had set off a chain of events that led to me leaving my husband and my family. And it was a very traumatic point in my life. And it was more than a door closing, it was the house fell down and I was buried. It was very hard. Um, And I suppose then, if you then are using that an example of change, you can only imagine then when you're thinking about something like your work, something that you're comfortable in, something that you're not unhappy with, but you are, the thought of having then to change to then have movement in a direction you want to go to is huge. Bigger than the crossroad, bigger than the door closing. It's not as big as me leaving my first husband. That was nothing compares to that, may I say. um, but yeah, it's when you have finally have a mind switch and you allow your mind to go, you know what, I'm not that happy because I want A, B, and C. When you then say to yourself, well, the only thing I need to do is the only way that it's going to change is that I need to change. It's not going to just miraculously change. You know what I mean? I don't think that, and I have hoped this as well, trust me. I have hoped this would happen, but unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen. There has been many times when I've just thought, oh, I'll just log on one day and, you know, they'll say, oh, congratulations, Amanda, you get a pay rise, or, we've got this, or something like that. And, you know, I have had opportunity. I had an opportunity, and unfortunately, it didn't pan out. And it's in my benefit that it didn't pan out, actually. Even though at the time I thought it might have been the way forward, but it clearly wasn't. I'm now with clarity, or trying to find clarity to work out what that change or decision is. And then that leads back to what I'm saying of that higher sense of self, or not even self, but if you believe in God, or you believe in the presence of things like that, or spiritual things, or if you believe in the concept of being, not, I'm not just talking about, we can talk about this, we can talk about meditation and gratefulness, and, um, you know, reaching out to the universe, or reaching out to what you think might be out there to help you lead or guide you in a certain direction. How long do you wait? Do you know what I mean? Like I said, can you say having an epiphany is the same as waiting for that sign to tell you this is the right path that you need to take? Or is it that you just have to choose a path, and where the cards may fall, as they say, then that's where the cards fall, and you just have to get on with it and see what happens. And that's where I'm sitting at the moment. And I'm not going to lie, like I said, I have been working on me personally, and how I view things, and how I perceive things, and how I emotionally deal with things, all based on things that have happened probably within the last year, mainly due to things that have happened at my work, which have then, you know, kind of forced me to really reassess how I manage my personal emotions, really, about multiple things. But has also then led to me taking a closer view of what I want out of my life. And I probably was hoping secretly, by doing this podcast today, that I'd have an epiphany. And somehow the thought would pop into my head, and I would have to change. I'd have to I've just, yeah. Oh, help. Yeah. Do I? Yeah, do I? Is that a Freudian slip? Is it? See, the problem is, I'm gonna have a sip of my drink. By the way, I bought this. If you're watching this live on YouTube, which no one is, I don't think, that you will see that I'm holding up this it's from the brand, what's it called? Smash. I bought this yesterday with this straw pour my drink while I'm doing podcasts. This is brilliant, actually. Just by the way, if you live in Australia and you go to Coles, the aisle where they have all the kitchen stuff, keeps the drink nice and cool, and it's got a nice straw, just so you know. And I'm getting distracted by my own bullshit. No. Yeah, I suppose I brought this subject up today because, yeah, I'm going to be straightforward. I have recently gone down the rabbit hole. I don't know why. I'm trying to search for something to help me make that's what it is. I'm trying to search different things to help me find the answer that I'm looking for in relation to this decision. And or even just decisions in general. Now, you might recall that, what was it? A couple of podcasts I did the high five habit, and I talked about that. And it's something that really cemented in me the fact of the importance of working on my own self-worth and what I wanted out of life and what direction I wanted to take and what my dreams and hopes were and how to make those dreams and hopes come to fruition. The thing is that when you then get into that mindset of doing that and you're at the door, okay, that, the magical door that we're hoping the window opens, that you now have the door wide fucking open, okay? You might have had the door slightly open, okay? Now the door is fucking open. It's a fucking archway, all right? And the thing is with that is that you then have to sit in that. Now, I'm a person which you may not have figured out by listening to my podcasts, and I've talked about this. I think about a lot of things a lot of the time. I'm thinking of the movie I watched last week, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Now, I laugh about it because my husband hated the movie. He could not. He's like, it was like it actually affected his psyche in a way. He had such a reaction to it. He couldn't handle it. He didn't like it. I loved it. Loved it. I didn't say that. I didn't say that out loud. I was scared. And that's what my mind is like a lot of the time. I'm thinking about multiple things all the time, everywhere, all at once. And the problem is that you can do that, but then you also then have to live your life and you have to work and you have to cook dinner and you have to all that kind of shit. Do you know what I mean? And if your mind gets too full of all that stuff, then it's hard to concentrate on everything, okay? So now you're standing in the archway, all right? Everything's fucking open and you know you need to make a decision. So you start searching for shit to help you make the decision, or you look for that higher being. And this is why people probably do, I was going to say fall for God. I won't talk about God, but they fall for feeling like they need something to help them get through because it's such, if you are someone who contemplates a lot. Sorry, I was distracted by a car driving past. Weird. That, yeah, you do then get to a point where you feel like you need something to help you get across the line or help you give you a sign to say, yeah, you're going the right direction, or yeah, you should turn left. Yeah, turn left. Turn left, Amanda. That's the right way you go. Yes. Good job. You got this. And then that's the problem though. You're standing there naked in the crossroads and it's barren road and the eagle's flying over. and you're sweating your a-hole out, and it starts to rain, and you're like, I don't know where the shop is to get the raincoat. Am I talking in riddles? Yes, I am. Do you know what I mean? And now we've all been there, I'm sure. Like, I'm not so special to say to you that none of us have ever been in the position that I'm in today where, you really need to think, where am I going with this? All right. Do you know what I mean? Um, or, you have the epiphany, like I said, when I was in the counseling group, that, and that's the thing, maybe it was so unsolicited. And this is the problem. At that time, it wasn't something, I suppose I was working on myself, wasn't I? I was actually. I was going to say I wasn't, but I actually was. But it felt so unsolicited. Unsolicited? Is that a word? Unsolicited? Unsolicited. Um, that my mind freely came to that, all right, and said, guess what? This thing that you've been thinking about for like 5 years that you're miserable, you are. Fucking leave. Okay? Yeah. And this is where now, like I said, this was in my early 30s. And this is the problem, okay? When you're an overthinker and you're standing at the crossroads and you're naked and you feel like you don't know that left is the right direction or right, and you're looking above and you're hoping that the sun comes from out the clouds to say, and it goes over the road to the right, and you go, okay, no, that's the right way. Thank you. I'm looking for the sign. Okay. But the problem is, where's the sign? Where's the fucking sign? Now, if you are someone who then believes in, like, as an example, tarot, or spirituality, is that the word? Spirituality, can't speak. That, as an example, if you were someone who believes in God, that you'd probably sit down and pray on it, and, hopefully the answer you seek would come to you. If you, I don't know, believe in tarot, you'd go to someone, or you'd watch someone who reads tarot cards, and you would wait to see that they gave you the sign you were looking for. Or if you, I don't know, believed in a higher being and just ruminated on that and thought, just give me a sign, and then, I know, you saw something. It said to you, yes, that's the way. And that's where I'm at now. All right. So now I'm at the place where my mind is wide open. I'm naked. I don't know which way to go. I know I need to make a decision to go, because otherwise I'm going to be hit by a bloody truck that comes along the road. And I know that I need to get out of the rain, but I'm just trying to step forward. It's like even physically, I can feel like I need to make a decision. It's not even a mental thing anymore. It's like I physically need to make a decision, and I'm waiting for this something. Do you know what I mean? And it's kind of like it's like I can't wait anymore for that. I can't wait for the epiphany anymore. I can't wait for the sign anymore. I can't, like I said, I'm in the archway, I'm in the proverbial door, and I'm just like, I'm going to have to go through the door and see what happens and see if the window does open or not. Do you know what I mean? It's bloody scary. And so I don't know. Do you think like this? Okay. Do you believe in any of this? Are you in a position like I am right now where you need to make a decision? Do you know what I mean? I'm sure that most people have felt this way sometime in their life where they've realized they have to go A or B or go left or right or quit their job or, you know, quit their marriage or move away or just make a decision. And that's where I'm at today. And have I made a decision? Like I said, not that long ago, I was hoping by doing this podcast, it would give me maybe the final piece. I was truly hoping that it was going to give me the piece, like the piece of the puzzle, that is, not the piece as in, well, I was hoping for peace as well in my mind. But it was going to give me the epiphany that I was looking for. And it hasn't. Fuck you. No, fuck you, spirit. No. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I need to ruminate it about it some more. I don't know. I don't know. I actually think I do know. I don't want to say it out loud. Anywho, look, as always, I haven't come to a decision. And oh, wait a minute. Sorry, I'm being distracted. Just so you know, I'm sitting here. I'm going to distract myself now because I don't want to end it on like a bleh. I'm looking out of my studio in the secret location. Okay, and I'm looking over the road. Now, it's very hard because I've got glasses on. Let me take my glass. Can I see without them? Oh, yeah. Okay. No, this makes a difference. There's this plant. I'm looking out because where I live across the road, it's bush, okay? And it's beautiful. It's such a beautiful view. And that's why I sit in this direction, even though like it then creates a glare. Because I was actually thinking about moving my studio setup around another way. So I didn't have a glare on my glasses, which if I just sit in this position like a weirdo, I don't I don't have one. But what was I getting at? Yeah, I just was distracted by there's this plant. I don't even know. Like I said, I'm trying to look at it without my glasses on to see if that'll help me. I think it's just like a tree, the sapling. But with my glasses on, it looks like there's these red flowers on it, but it's actually not. It's actually red leaves. But my glasses make it look like they're red flowers, but it's actually distracting. It's quite beautiful. And yeah, I was this morning contemplating about moving my studio around another way because, like I said, I didn't want the glare on my glasses, but I can't not sit this way to then be able to contemplate looking out this window because, yeah, it's just beautiful. Love it. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there today. I really haven't come to a decision. Actually, I think I have come to a decision, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. Oh, there's some people walking past. Isn't that nice? Oh, do they have a dog or a child? No, a child. They were holding on to something. It was a stroller, not a dog. That's weird. Yes, I think I actually have come to a decision, and I'm going to leave it there today. And so, yeah, ruminate on that motherfucker. No, anyway, for those who watch the rerun of this YouTube channel broadcast, I don't even know what it's called, video, then thank you. If you liked or you're interested or you think this was shit, leave a comment. I dare you. Leave a comment on the Tequila Hour channel on this video if you liked it, if you just thought it was shit, if you have had a moment when you've had to make a decision, if you understand anything I've just blabbed on about in the last hour. Love to hear from you. If you listen to this audio recording via your favorite streaming platform such as Spotify, you can leave a comment there as well. You can also contact me via my email address, which is info@thetequilahour.com.au. I'd love to hear from you and I'd love to get to know you and let's be friends. Let's be friends. Let's be friends. And yes, if there's something you'd like me to talk about or something you'd like to hear about, then yeah, drop me an email and we can talk about it. The other thing is that I will have this year someone on my podcast. I really am not I really am undecided who I want the first guest to be because I feel like it's going to be a catalyst for the direction of the podcast. So I'm really being mindful as to who that person I want to have and what the topic will be because I want it to be aligned with my I was going to say projection, but align with my not even morality, but where I'm moving forward. I want it to be aligned with that. So yeah, maybe I might be overthinking it and just probably need to have someone on my podcast and just choose someone and see what happens. That's probably what's going to happen. I also need to be more consistent with aligning these podcasts to a certain time and sticking to it because lately I'm just, again, I think I'm just I don't know. I like being I like being late. No, I don't like being late, actually. It stresses me the fuck out. So I need to be more consistent with setting the time and keeping the time. And I did a little bit better today, but still not how I would like it. So I need to sort that out because that's becoming a habit, not something I want to create. And lastly, look, to anyone who does take the time to listen to these podcasts or watch the YouTube channel, the Tequila Hour, the podcast, thank you. I do appreciate it. I am very grateful and thank you for taking the time out of your day to do that. And it means a lot to me. And it would be meaningful to me even more to hear from you if you do like what I do on YouTube. Liking and subscribing and leaving a comment will help me understand that you like it. So just do it. Anyway, thank you for always. Thank you for being a listener if you are one. And enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I'll catch you on the next one. Okay, see ya. Bye.